From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight Sunday.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Carol Simpson.
I was a big researcher as a kid, and when I was in the 8th grade, my mom was cooking dinner, and I just threw out the name. I said, "Mom, do you know a woman by the name of Carol Simpson?" And she stopped. She said, "Carol Simpson? Of course I remember Carol Simpson." And I said, well, she was the first Black woman to ever grace the anchor desk on a national level, and I want to be like that when I grow up.
The first thing that you know about Carol is that she was excellent.
Good evening. Roger Patterson, the American...
There was no one who had that quite commanding voice. The fact that she was a Black woman in that role was incidental. And at the same time, it was huge.
She was a first. There's always a weight on your shoulder when you're first like no other. And she rose to that occasion and excelled.
My name is Carol Simpson, and I will be the moderator for tonight.
When I did my first debate in 2012, you can be certain that I went back to those old tapes and saw how Carol had pulled it off. And I kept thinking, oh gosh, she makes it look so easy. I'm going to be terrible.
If I were traveling, say at about 25 to 30 miles an hour and hit a parked car, this is what would happen.
Of course, everybody knows Carol's laugh, and so you start with that.
She's sort of a girl's girl. You can sit in Carol's office and close that door and you were getting all the goods.
When we traveled together, we had fun with the camera crews, going out to dinner and all of those kinds of things. But the stories were tough. We did stories on homeless teenagers and AIDS, children living under the bridge in LA. We did stories on gangster rap.
My concern is that a lot of the music reinforces negative stereotypes.
Carol got the difficult assignments because she sought those kinds of assignments. She wanted to tell those stories because she knew they were important.
How can we as Black people expect anyone to like us if we don't like ourselves?
When Black and White America happened, that was really one of the first major network news commitments to telling the story of African Americans. You know, I remember all the file footage of people on welfare were Black. And it was really Carol's efforts and the efforts of many other people who wanted to reframe that narrative.
The first time I met Carol Simpson was at Emerson College, and she really was the first intro into journalism at Emerson for me. Her influence is matchless, and I know that when I say it's matchless for me, it has to be matchless for so many other women that she's poured into over the years.
If I had an issue or a problem, she was the person you went to professionally and personally. And when I first started, it was a different era. I was, without question, being hazed by some people. And she was always a guide through that. She was always the pat on the back, you can do it, girl. So in many ways, I owe my career at the network to Carol and others who helped me through those years.
When Carol went on camera, Carol knew that she was representing a lot of other people and that she needed to succeed in order to make it easier for the next person.
Without Carol Simpson, it would be hard to imagine my career because there wouldn't be an example for me. She really was the image that I needed as a Black woman and so many others looked up to. So without her, there would really be no opportunity for me to exist in this space. So Carol Simpson, thank you.